अन्ते वसदृषिगणैः आवृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपम् आत्मारामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे वटविटपि समीपे भूमिभागे निषण्णं सकलमुनिजनानां ज्ञानदातारमारात् त्रिभुवनगुरुमीशं दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवं जननमरणदुःखच्छेददक्षं नमामि। चित्रं वडदरोर्मूले वृद्धा शिष्या गुरुर्युवा गुरोस्तु मौनं व्याख्यानं शिष्यास्तु छिन्नसंशयाः निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतम् विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतम् पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोर् भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयम् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदम्। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगति तं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यभिमहा योगी वयः स्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदम्। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये यस्यैव स्फुरणं सदात्मकमसत् कल्पार्थकं भासते साक्षात् तत् तत्त्वमसीति वेदवचसा यो बोधयत्याश्रितान् यत्साक्षात्करणात् भवेत् न पुनरावृत्तिर्भवाम्भोनिधौ तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदम् श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नानाच्छिद्रघटोदरस्थितमः दीपप्रभाभास्वरम् ज्ञानं यस्य तु चक्षुरादिकरण द्वारा बहिस्पन्दते जानामीति तमेव बान्धम् अनुभात्येतत्समस्तं जगत् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदम् श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये देहं प्राणमपीन्द्रियाण्यपि चलाम् बुद्धिं च शून्यं विदुः स्त्रीबालान्धजटोपमास्त्वहमिति भ्रान्तावृशं वादिनः मायाशक्तिविलासकल्पितमहा व्यामोहसंहारिणे तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदम् श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बाल्यादिष्वपि जाग्रदादिषु तथा राहुग्रस्तदिवाकरेन्दुसदृशः मायासमाच्छादनात् सन्मात्रकरणोपसंहरणतः यो भो सुषुप्तः पुमान् प्रागस्वाप्समिति प्रबोधसमये यः प्रत्यभिज्ञायते तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदम् श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये Shankaracharya has summarized the whole Vedanta in this. Such a beautiful. Every word is a capsule. I'll take it one day. So we are on the 21st verse, right? na bhavatyamrutam martyam na martyamamrutam tatha prakriteranyatha bhavaha na katham chit bhavishyati tyamrutam natyam amartyamamrutam tatha prakriteranyatha bhavaha. So, this is a beautiful verse in Gita also, right? Second chapter. Nasato vidyate bhavaha na bhavo vidyate sataha ubhayorapi drishtontvaha anayoho tattva-drishyibihi. A finite thing can never become infinite, and infinite can never become finite. That's the point. Tatha, in the same way, amrutam martyam na bhavati. Na asataha vidyate bhavaha. Na bhavo vidyate sataha. Na abhavo vidyate sataha. So that which is real can never ceases to exist. That which is unreal never become real. So that's why amrutam martyam na bhavati. The immortal will never become mortal. Now what are we doing? We are doing sadhana to attain moksha. Think about the contradiction here. Sadhana is, that's why in Mundaka Upanishad it is said, Pariksha lokan karmachidan nirvedamayat brahmanaha nasti akritaha kritena. It's a very beautiful statement. Akritam means Brahman. Kritena na asti. So, by karma, you can never attain that which is akritam, uncreated. So, that which is uncreated can never be created by karma. So, that's why na karmana, na prajaya, na dhanena, tyage neke. Tyage neke means all the three you have to give up. Amrtatvamanashuhu. So, now moksha is defined as immortality. Will mortal become immortal, or will immortal become immortal? Who wants to become immortal? Only two possibilities. Mortal wants to become immortal, or immortal become immortal. If I am mortal, by any amount of sadhana one cannot become immortal. But can immortal by sadhana become immortal? No need. It is already immortal. Then why are you working for immortality? This is the problem with Mandukya. People, after reading this, they give up everything. Their little sadhana also they give up. Otherwise they were doing something. That's why unprepared people, if they listen to Vedanta, is a problem. We have to be very careful. Therefore, moksha is dropping the struggle for moksha with the knowledge that I am already Mukta Purusha. You can drop everything only when you are already a Mukta Purusha. Even then you don't drop. And once Gurudev was in our ashram, we have a Jagadishwara temple. So whenever he come for satsang there, in the evening our brahmacharis, they will have satsang in the temple. Light topics will be taken, small topics will be taken. Some prakarana granthas, that is how I used to take. So whenever he comes, he addresses that. So, he takes the satsang for us. So one day he came and he was, the temple is there and the satsang is this side. So he goes to the temple, prostrate before Lord Jagadishwara and go around the temple and come back, sit on his podium, whatever seat, and then he gives talks. This was his practice every day. One day a gentleman asked in the crowd, because the satsang, not only brahmacharis, public also come. It's the temple. So one day a gentleman asked, Swamiji, can I ask you a question? Oh yeah, I asked. Before he started his satsang. Swamiji, you are chalte firte Bhagavan hai. You are Bhagavan himself. Why do you have to go and prostrate before a murti? It's not necessary. And Gurudev looked at him and said, see, if I don't do it, these boys will not do it. They are not there yet. They have to do it. So that is what we have to learn. We have to do it, okay? Even after sannyasa also, after realizing the truth, still they do it for what? In Narada Bhakti Sutra there is a beautiful statement. See, in order to go up to the second floor, you need a ladder. But once you reach there, you don't need the ladder, right? But that doesn't mean you remove the ladder. Because that ladder is required for others. You keep it there. So these are all very beautiful statements, So don't ignore or don't, condemn rituals or sadhana or spiritual practices. They are all required for a purpose. But what mistake we take it as, that is the end of everything. That is the end. That is where the mistake is. It is a means. If you take it as a means, it is okay. It should have a higher goal. When we say the higher goal is moksha, and for that all these are all means to attain that. So this goal, higher goal, is to be kept always alive. Then everything makes sense. Otherwise, chakkar. Get into a chakkar. So, therefore, moksha is dropping the struggle for moksha. With this knowledge, with the knowledge that I am already a moksha purusha. And therefore, Gaudapada Acharya said, Prakriter anyatha bhavaha. Here, Prakriti means the intrinsic nature. Swabhava. Surupam. The intrinsic nature of a thing can never undergo a change. Anyatha bhavaha means a change, a transformation, na bhavishyati, never possible. If at all, if you have to do sadhana, it is not to become immortal, but the sadhana is to own up the fact that I need not work for moksha. I am nitya muktaha. This reminder alone is sadhana. What I want to be, I already am. I talked about this when we did the Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Man wants only three things. Just to remind you, what are they? I want to live a day more. Right? Nobody wants to die today. Even a 99-year-old person complained that I want marnai acha hai. If you say, suppose you tell him, can I help you? What will he say? Not today, tomorrow. Not today, tomorrow. One day he wants to live a day more means what? His eye is for eternity. That is why he knows in his physical body he cannot stay. So he leaves his children, grandchildren behind. His last name is already there. Or some people don't have children, they will give donation to some organization. Their name is written there. So these are all the desire to be eternal. The second one is what? Nobody wants to be ignorant. Everybody wants to know everything that is going on around them. Is it not? Why we are interested in gossip? Because we want to know what is going on. I don't want to be ignorant. Newspaper, what we are reading, why are we reading? You are not going to solve the problem of politics or economic crisis. But we want to know what is going on. News we read or listen to, CNN and all that, BBC. Why? Because we don't want to be left out. Nobody broke ignorance. Then the third one is what? I want to be happy, but happy ever after. Now all the three things, these are the basic desires every desire, every other desire you entertain is all related to these three. You may have 100 desires, but all of them are related to these three. So our teachers say that whatever you want, you already have. Why? Your Swarupa is Sat. That means existence, pure existence. Means you are eternal, ever existent. Then you are jnanam, knowledge, awareness. There is no ignorance in you. Then what? Anandaha. You are ever blissful. So all the three that you desire basically, that is your real nature. So this understanding is called moksha. Therefore, infinite Brahman cannot produce finite world, and therefore Brahman is not a karanam. Coming back to the point. Now, continuing. Svabhave namruto yasya bhavo gacchanti martyatam kritake namrutastasya katham sthasyati nischalaha. Svabhave namruto yasya bhavo gacchati martyatam. In the previous verse, Gaudavadacharya said, intrinsic nature of a thing cannot undergo any change. And if there is a change, then it is not intrinsic nature, but only an incidental nature. What is intrinsic and incidental? When coffee is hot, the hotness of coffee is incidental. Agantuka dharma, borrowed nature. It is subject to change. But the heat obtaining in fire, not incidental, but intrinsic, and therefore fire never loses its intrinsic nature of heat. Therefore, Brahman's infinitude is an intrinsic nature and cannot change. Now, Gaudapadacharya says, for the sake of argument, this is called Abhyupetyavadaha. For the sake of argument, let us assume that the intrinsic nature also undergo change. So somebody argue like that. Means once upon a time we were all Paramatma, now become Jivatma. People like talk like that. We were all one with Paramatma and became Jivatma. We got separated from God. Okay, let us assume this has happened. Now we want to do sadhana to go back to our own real nature, which is godliness. One day, by virtue of sadhana, you become Paramatma. Let us say. Then what is the problem? If you become the immortal Paramatma on a future date, that immortality is an event produced in time. Your Brahmatvam will be an event. Okay. Let it be so. If moksha happened as an event in time, that moksha also will be finite in nature. Agamapayino anityaha. Because jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuho dhruvam janma mritasya cha. You cannot say, I will accept that non-eternal moksha. Then it will be contradictory. Because the moksha word is used for only eternal freedom. A temporary freedom from samsara is not called moksha. Therefore, this logical fallacy is called anirmoksha prasangaha. In the dualistic philosophy, moksha is not possible. All the dualistic philosophies, moksha is an event in time. Surga prapti, Vaikunta prapti. You will enter Surga or Vaikunta at a given time and place. Therefore he says, yasya. For a dualistic philosopher, whether they are Purvamimamsaka, Dvaitis or Visishtadvaitins or Vaisheshikas, Bhavaha Martyatam Gacchati. The immortal Brahman is becoming mortal, which is naturally immortal, Subhavena Amritaha. Therefore, it cannot become mortal. But for these philosophers, Martyatam Gacchati becomes mortal world or Jivatma. Then what will happen? His immortality is produced immortality, which is illogical. Kritakena Amritaha, artificially produced in time. They will all say, you are samsari now, you have to become asamsari. That is the most misleading teaching. Why? Samsaritvam of the mind can never be removed. Right? Worry, anxiety, fear. This is the swabhava of the mind. And it will pick up one worry or other, isn't it? Related to the world, relations, attachments. So nobody can stop that. So what is the best method? Call it a bluff. Mind is a big, what do you call? Bluff. And unless that bluff is called as bluff, it keep on giving you trouble. Now this bluff, how do you say it is a bluff? Only from a higher standpoint. And that higher standpoint is your real nature. Tattvam asi. Even when you are crying, saying, I am samsari, the real face is you are a samsari. If you are able to do that, you are a Jivan Mukta Purusha. This the dualistic won't say, and therefore his immortality is kritakam, produced. Then how can that produced immortality, katham kritakam amrtatvam bhavati, remain for long? Sthasyati nischalaha, how can it be eternal? But then they will say you have to believe. Now, wherever there is a logical inconsistency, the dualist will say you keep your intellect aside and believe in God. An event in time can never be eternal. Don't question the guru or the teacher. Advaita says, keep your intellect active. Don't sacrifice that. Now, little bit going back, because as we proceed we forget, you see. In these 6 verses, beginning from 17 to 22nd verses, Gaudapadacharya is taking a small diversion in which he criticizes all the dualistic system of philosophies. His prime aim is to establish Advaita. His main aim is not to criticize Dvaita. And the main idea he conveys through these 6 verses is that the journey from bondage to moksha can never be a journey from Dvaitam to Dvaitam. From one Dvaitam to another Dvaitam can never be moksha. Because wherever there is duality, subject-object division, time, space are inevitable. Once mortality comes, fear and insecurity come. Therefore, freedom from bondage is freedom from insecurity. Even if you go to heaven, there is a duality, isn't it? God is sitting there and you are sitting here. Isn't it? And there are people who have front seat. You will be jealous of them. Govinda. Now in Guruvayur also they started that. Yeah, 1,000 rupees. Darshanam. Vishesha darshanam. Once mortality comes, fear and insecurity come. Therefore, freedom from bondage is freedom from insecurity. Wherever division is there, there will be comparison. Comparison comes, jealousy comes, cannot be avoided. Yatra yatra dvaitam tatra tatra bhedaha ragadveshaha asuyaha bhavati. All these are inevitable. All these put together alone is called samsara. Even if one goes to Vaikuntha, there also exists Dvaitam, and then we are going from earthly Dvaitam to divine Dvaitam. Divine Dvaitam. Therefore, moksha can never be a journey from Dvaitam to Dvaitam. This should be clear to a seeker. He should not imagine going to heavenly places is called moksha. This is one important idea Gaudapadacharya wants to teach us. That's our Gurudev used to say, this is an eternal joke. That is why all our gods in the temple smiling at us. You go and pray. When you go and pray, Bhagavan, please take care of me, my children, my family. Bhagavan is laughing. Bhagavan is thinking that I am sitting inside you. I am running the whole show. Why are you not seeing that? Now, second point, journey to moksha can only be from Dvaitam to Advaita alone. Only in Advaita, mortality, bondage, ragadvesha, jealousy, etc. is absent. Best proof is your own experience, deep sleep. No jagadvesha, no jealousy, nothing. Third, journey from Dvaitam to Advaitam can never be a physical journey, because Advaitam is not a place somewhere. It is not a destination. It is a journey from ignorance to knowledge. If at all you can call that as journey. It's not even a journey. These 3 points, the entire Manduka is understood well. He concludes this thought in this 22nd verse saying that if Advaitam is a product produced in time, then that Advaitam will not last long. With this 22nd verse, the diversion part is over. Now he is coming back to Advaitam. 23rd verse. Bhutato bhutate bhutato vapi srijyamane samashrutihi Nishchitam yukti yuktam cha yattat bhavati netarat bhutato vapi It is Netaram or Netarat? Netarat. So corrected. My book, old book. Etarat. No, itaram. Etarat. So Advaitam alone is the liberation, and Brahman, the Turiyam, is Advaitam, capable of liberation. Then that must be beyond time and space, not subject to modification. Means that Advaitam is Karya Karana Vilakshanam. Therefore, that Advaitam has not produced anything, neither Jiva Srishti nor Jagat Srishti. Now from this verse onward, Jagat Srishti Nishedha by Shruti. In this verse, he is answering a possible doubt. What Gaudapada said was, from the study of scriptures we come to know that no creation has come out of Brahman. Then, how come the scriptures talk about creation very often? Almost in every Upanishad. He gives his answer here. The Upanishad talk about Srishti, yes. But the Upanishad does not say whether the creation is accepted by the scriptures temporarily for the sake of teaching, which has to be discarded later, or it is a real creation permanently accepted is not clearly given. Both are not given. It was a temporary creation, it should be negated later, that is also not mentioned. Or it is a permanent creation, it should be accepted as real, that is also not said. Shruti just say the world is born out of Brahman, but it does not say it is Satya Srishti or Mithya Srishti. Scripture doesn't say it is Mithya. Yeah, but that is Maya. Word is used. We, the Advaitins, are, this is all analysis, okay? When you are doing analysis, you give the benefit of doubt. Then you negate logically. That is how. We, the Advaitins, are willing to accept the creation, but what we insist upon is the creation is an apparent creation. Like Sopna Srishti. Because Sopna is very important for Vedanta, okay? Otherwise, it's very difficult. That's why Gaudapadacharya starts with Sopna only. But the dualists say there is a real creation born out of Brahman. When Vedantins say apparent creation, that means there is no creation. As far as Shruti Vakyams are concerned, it does not say it is real creation or apparent creation. It does not support either of them. Therefore, you cannot quote Shastra in support of your statement. See, because they didn't quote Shastra in support of their argument, saying that it is a real creation, it has come out of Bhagavan. Therefore, as Bhagavan is real, the creation is also real. This is their argument. If the Shruti says Satya Srishti, it is supporting the dualists. But if the Shruti says apparent Shruti, Srishti, then it is supporting Advaitins. But Shruti Vakyam by itself does not say either. Therefore, the statement by itself is an impartial statement. It does not support either of them. And therefore, you cannot quote the Shruti Vakyam as though it is your support. Okay? This is called Mimamsa. This is how you analyze. Then you have to see the significance of the statement by studying the whole section. You should not take the Shruti Vakyam out of the context and quote it. You have to study and see what is the import of the Shruti Vakyam. It is like quoting the Taitreya as Annamaya Kosha is Atma. But if you believe the statement and quote only that portion, then you have not studied the whole Upanishad. In the next paragraph, the Upanishad negates it, therefore study the Veda comprehensively and studied the entire Shastra. Therefore, Shruti Samaha means Srishti Shruti Vakyani. The statement in the Shruti talking about Srishti, Srijyamane, with regard to the creation, is Sama, impartial. Bhutata or Abhutata va api, whether the creation is apparent or real. Then what we should do? Continue to read to the end. Nischitam, whatever is arrived at the total analysis called Mimamsa. In Brahma Sutra, Vyasacharya says, never study our scriptures partially, as it will confuse you. That is why the most misunderstood scriptures are ours. That's why foreigners are always, when they comment, it is a problem for them. Purnamada itself is a problem for them. They said those ancient rishis, what is that? They were in the initial cradle of civilization, something like that. There's some statement. So therefore, analysis is necessary. Once analyzed, we can find out that Shruti never wanted to accept creation. Yukti yuktam cha, also we should use reasoning. It should not be illogical. Yatat bhavati, whatever is arrived at should be accepted. Na itaram. Na itarat. Not any other thing. Now we have to do analysis, Mimamsa, and another is reasoning. Gaudavadacharya says, I will do both for you. Analysis and the reasoning, both. So that's 24th onwards. Nehananeti jatnayat chamnayat indro maya bhirityapi ajayamano bahudha Mayaya jayate tusaha. So in these verses from 24 to 26, Gaudavadacharya shows how to analyze the scriptures properly. This is called Tatparya Nirnaya. To find out whether the creation is real or unreal. Then from 27th to 30th, he shows how to apply reasoning. Whatever we learn from the scripture should not be against logic. Now, how to analyze? Example, Pranamaya is Atma is the statement in the Shruti. Now, how do you know the statement is true or otherwise? Read further. Then you will see Anyondara Atma Manomaya. Manomaya is the Atma, not Pranamaya. Similarly, creation is real or not, we should find out. Then you will find the later statement or the negation of creation. In Kaivalya Upanishad, there is a statement from Srishti. This statement upon Srishti. We have done Kaivalya? No. Etasma jayate pranaha manas sarvendriyani cha kham vayujyotirapaha prithvi vishwasya dharini. So the statement says, this is Kaivalya Upanishad. Etasma jayate pranaha. From that Brahman came pranaha. Manas sarvendriyani. All indriyas and manas. Kham vayu jyotirapaha prithvi. Akasha vayu raknirapaha. Prithvi vishwasya dharini. From Brahman are born these 5 elements, mind, senses, etc. But the same Upanishad, in conclusion, Upanishad, na bhumirapo na vannirasti na cha nilosti na ambaram cha. Na bhumi, apaha, vannihi, na asti. Where? In Brahman. Therefore, in front of us, there is no creation at all. The world came out of Brahman, and therefore there is a world in front of you, should be the conclusion. Since it has come from Brahman, the world in front of you is real, is the conclusion. But the Shruti says there is no world in front of us. Na bhumirapo nasti. If the Upanishad negates the creation later, what does the Upanishad means? The real creation has not come out of Brahman. Apparent creation alone has originated from Brahman. And presence of apparent creation is as good as no creation. Like earning money in dream is as good as no earning. $1 million you got, lottery. Getting up, you think you are very rich. No. Therefore, by negating the creation at the end, the Upanishad indicates that only an apparent creation alone is born. You can't even say born. Apparent creation appears, not a real one. An apparent thing is a perception born out of ignorance. Mithya srishti asti, satya srishti nasti. And it is not a stray statement occurring in Kaivalya Upanishad. It is there in many Upanishads. So he quotes 3 of them. Therefore, Gaudapadacharya says, I will give you several scriptural statements. So in this verse 24, 3 quotations are given. Na iha nana iti. Neha nanasti kinchana. Kathopanishad. Indro mayabhihi. Bhagadaranyaka. Ajayamanaha bahuta vijayate. Purusha Suktam. All these three quotes from Upanishad indicates the creation has not really come out of Brahman. Number one, Naiha Nanasti Kinchana. A very significant statement. There is no plurality, no duality at all. Now Upanishad is making the statement in the present tense. Na iha nanasti kinchana. Means when you are seeing the plurality, the fact is there is no plurality at all. Means the perceived plurality is not real plurality at all. Advaita ignorance is Dvaita. Means ignorance solidified is matter. A profound statement. Need to meditate upon that to understand. Ignorance solidified is matter. That is, na iha nanasti kinchana. Kathopanishad. There is no plurality. Everything is one Brahman. Visham darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam nija antargatam. See, he gives an example. Darpana example. Darpanam. Darpana means what? Darpam dadati iti darpana. When you stand in front of the darpanam, what is that? Darpam. But that's not the meaning Shankaracharya gives here, okay? That is my explanation. Shankaracharya says, the whole creation is like a reflection seen in the mirror. Suppose a big mirror is kept in the balcony of your house or apartment in Manhattan. So what happened? The whole Manhattan is reflected in that mirror, isn't it? Now, if you look at the mirror, what happens? You see things are moving. Cars are going, train is going, sometimes there is a fire someplace, that is also reflected. Everything is reflected. You see Nanatvam, isn't it? But what is there? One surface. You touch and see one surface. That is what is equally one. And it looks as though outside, actually, bahihi iva, as though outside. Dakshinamurti is very beautiful. Now, next quote is Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. While studying the nature of Brahman as described in the Upanishad, we face a peculiar problem. And that problem is some of the features described are contradictory to one another. The main contradiction is in the description of Brahman is both Nirvikaram and Jagat Karanam. These two statements are there. When you say Nirvikaram and at the same time Jagat Karanam, you know why it is a contradiction? These two attributes of Brahman are logically contradictory. Why? The word nirvikaram means that which is not subject to change. That is beyond time and space. The very same Upanishad describes Brahman as Jagat Karanam. And that too Upadana Karanam. Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam. The material cause of the creation. And when we try to understand the material cause, we understand that any material cause produces only by undergoing a modification. Like milk becoming curd, gold becoming ornament, clay becoming pot, there is a change involved. Means change is inevitable for material cause. Therefore, Karanam means Savikaram. But the Upanishads say Brahman is Nirvikaram. And Brahman is Karanam means Savikaram. So how can we both together? How we can accept these two contradictory statements? Several systems of philosophies tried to tackle this contradiction. Dvaitins, Visishtadvaitin, Dvaitadvaitins, etc. And Gaudavadacharya says the contradiction can be talked only in one way. That two opposite attributes as to remain in one and the same substance, and it is possible only in one way. One must be real and the other is unreal. In dream, I travel while I remain motionless in the bed. Because traveling is in dream is not real. Lying in the bed is real. One is Pratibhasika Satta and the other is Vyavaharika Satta. I go to bed with full stomach and I feel hungry in the dream. Generally opposite happens, right? Higher reality, lower reality. Now the question is, which one is Satyam, which one is Mithya? Can we say Savikaram is Satyam and Nirvikaram is Mithya? Or the other way around? Gaudavadacharya says Nirvikaram alone can be taken as Satyam. Savikaratvam Brahman must be taken as Mithya, unreal. Once you accept the Savikaram Brahman is Mithya, then Karanatvam also cannot be other than Mithya. Means Brahman is not a real cause of this universe. It means what? Brahman is an unreal cause of the universe. Then the universe that is born out of Brahman will be unreal creation. Therefore, the world can only be Mithya. This reconciliation is correct only because the Upanishad itself support this conclusion. Where do we get these supports? When we saw Neha Nanasti Kinchana, there is no pluralistic world exist at all. Next quote, Indro Mayavi Ityapi. This is a statement occurring in Brihadaranya Upanishad. Indraha here means Param Brahma. Indra Shabda is used for both. In this context, it is Brahman. Pururupaha iyate. Plurality, non-dual Brahman assumes the pluralistic world of this universe. How? Mayaya. Through Maya, magic, means that which is not real. So, Indro Mayabhi Ityapi. So, Brahman assumes this world through Maya. Means what? Unreal, magic. It's not real. That means what? What is there then? Only Brahman alone is there. Third quote, Ajayamano Bahuda Vijayate. Brahman becomes the manifold universe Ajayamana, without producing. Brahman creates plurality without creating plurality. Means it is as though produced. How does he do that? Like in your dream, by Nidra Shakti, power of sleep, Avarana Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti. Nidra covers your waker and project all the vasanas in you and create a dream world. If we have this individual power called Nidra Shakti, then the Lord also have the cosmic Shakti called Maya. And with the help of Maya's Vikshepa Shakti, that is said here, Mayaya Jayate Suha. This apparent creation is projected. Mayaya Jayate tu Saha. Then we take one more. Sambhuterapavadacha Sambhava Pratishidhyate Konvenam Janayetiti Karanam Pratishidhyate. The Upanishad statements are analyzed here. It is continued. The first quotation is taken from the Ishavasya Upanishad. Here in this Upanishad, the teacher negates Hiranyagarbha Upasana. It is an indirect criticism of Hiranyagarbha itself. And by criticizing or negating Hiranyagarbha, the Upanishad is negating the whole world creation. Why should the Upanishad criticize the Hiranyagarbha? Because Hiranyagarbha is not Satyam, it is Mithya, unreal. Therefore, there is no real creation. Sambhutehe apavadaha. Criticism or negation, Sambhuti, is Hiranyagarbha. The first creation. By way of that, Sambhavaha Pratishidhyate. The whole creation is criticized or negated as Mithya. Sambhuter apavadaha cha. Sambhuti here means Hiranyagarbha. Suppose Hiranyagarbha, the first, Hiranyagarbha is Brahmaji. Okay. Brahmaji, the first creation. He himself is not real when you say. The whole creation is negated because all creation is born of Sambhuti only. If the creation is real, the Upanishad would not have negated the creation. We have another mantra from the Brihadaranyaka, Konu enam janayet. Jivatma is never born, even though we have this misconception that we are all subject to birth and death. Really speaking, the Jivatma is never born. What is the reason? Konu enam janayet. If Jivatma has to be born, what can be the cause of that Jivatma? Who can create Jivatma? Think about it. Suppose you say Bhagavan created Jivatma. On what basis? There is a problem. In study group, all this always is a problem. He say Jiva is created according to his karma. First karma. But how did that first karma happen? There is a problem. There is a logical fallacy there. And Bhagavan cannot create a jiva without random like that he cannot create. If it is random created, how do you explain the differences in this world? Somebody is suffering, somebody is not suffering. Again, karma theory you have to bring in. If you ask, then we have to say it is a cycle and keep quiet. It's not a, creation is not a linear theory, it is a cycle theory. That's the only way to answer and keep them shut. But still the intellect is thinking. This is the answer here. Never creation. Jiva is not created. Okay, we'll stop here. Think about it. These are all verses for Mananam, okay? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamada Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.